Hey everyone, it's Arwen, the professional joy seeker, and I'm here today, hopefully, with Emily Hawthorne of Hawthorne Mystics. We're having some issues with sound, so I wanted to go ahead and get the chat started. Those I knew some folks had joined us.
Is this working?
Yes.
Hallelujah!
Okay.
That was
Whew.
a pain in the butt and a half.
Well, now I know though. I can tell other people maybe. What, were you just in your app for
I,
Google?
I was on Chrome, Google Chrome. So I just switched to Safari and it's working. So maybe Google Chrome's just being a butt.
Wait, no. So, guys, I want to introduce you to Emily of Hawthorne Mystics. Emily, I've been watching her channel for a while now. She's very sweet voiced. Her messages aren't always sweet, but they're kind. You know how you've got some people have a very kind, sweet voice, and they'll tell you to go fuck yourself. So, kind of like that. I see we've got some folks joining us, so I am going to go look in here and see if I can get the live chat up so I can hear y'all.
Sounds good.
Well, it's not showing me any choices to listen to. So, yeah, there's that. I love Mercury retrograde so much.
Don't we all?
Good gravy. Mercury is in the shadow direction, y'all. I believe it goes full on retro tomorrow, I think. There we are. And I'll turn us down too. It was actually hooked up to my Bluetooth speaker in the other room, so all of a sudden it sounded like I was in the other room. I was a little confused. Okay, Mike, I know Venus is going direct pretty soon, right? Doesn't it go direct on the 14th or something? I can't remember. Venus retrograde's actually been very good for me though. But let me let Emily say hello. I've just been like blah blah blah.
Hello. Or hey girl, hey.
Heiko, hey? No.
Hey girl, hey.
Oh, I thought you said Heiko, hey, and I thought that's not a Japanese phrase I'm really familiar with. No.
It is not, in fact. Well, actually, I can't say for a fact because I'm not there yet.
Do you speak any Japanese?
A little bit. Like I could just be like, "Oterai wa doko desu ka?" Which is, where's the bathroom?
That's useful.
Very useful. Or like, "Otosan wa kuruma no naka ni imasu," which is, my father's in the car.
Maybe not as useful. Unless your dad's going with, but other than that.
He's not.
So everyone, we're going to do the 13 things I want to know about Miss Hawthorne, Miss Emily Hawthorne, which is usually about 15 or 16 questions because, as you know, I can't count. But this is in pursuit of my personal Barbara Walters challenge. I want to be the Barbara Walters of YouTube. So, Miss Hawthorne, what's the first thing you can remember about witches in general?
Wizard of Oz. Wizard of Oz. That's the first thing I remember because I was like a giant musical. Well, I'm still a giant musical freak, but like as a kid, Wizard of Oz, Wicked Witch of the West, and like Good Witch of the North. That's pretty much my first intro into witches in general.
Perfect. That was one of my, really big ones that I can remember. But let me ask you this: if you're a musical freak, because I am, what's your favorite musical all time? One you can watch over and over.
Hair.
Hair. It is the dawning of it. Okay. Mine is a little older and a little cheesier. Seven Brides for Seven Brothers.
That's actually one I haven't seen yet. And I'm just like, that is like a musical sin. That's on my list. I've got that, Fiddler on the Roof, and the Newsies are like on my top 3 list that I need to watch right now.
I haven't seen the Newsies. The other two, I I actually saw Fiddler on the Roof in the theater. So it was a long time ago, but I remember it clearly because it was Easter Sunday, and when we were leaving, my mother my mother and sister were in the front seat. I was in the back, coming around a curve. This kid in a brand new, I think, Corvette T-bones us.
Oh gosh.
We had our pet cat. My mother brought the cat with us to pick us up. I don't know why. And my sister like hits the windshield and cracks her forehead and the windshield. And the joke in the family is anytime she's ever had a wreck, she's smacked the windshield. Seatbelts are a thing, people. And I broke my ankle so badly that I still have issues with it sometimes.
Oh no.
But nobody was killed. No, I mean, everybody else, no, the cat was fine. And my sister got out of the car screaming at this poor kid. And he's like, it's just probably first time he's driving by himself. You killed Sheila! You killed Sheila! So the ambulance arrives and they're all trying to figure out who the hell Sheila is. Well, Sheila's the Siamese cat who's wedged under the seat, screaming her head off and threatening dire things if you touch her. But yeah, so and that was my Fiddler on the Roof experience.
Well, then.
But you must tell me once you've seen Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, because it's a Howard Keel, and Howard Keel, for as much as he was somewhat of a jerk as a human being, was an amazing singer. He was in Kiss Me Kate. And he's got that rich baritone. So
I might actually watch it tonight. I literally right after this have voice lessons. Well, at 7, but I had to leave it at 6:15 because buses in this city are a nightmare. But anyway.
Well, good. Well, I want a video response. That's what I want.
I'll do it. That'll be on my main channel though, because that is not paganism.
It could be.
It could be, but probably my main channel people would probably want to see it more.
Okay, fine. So what brought you to the craft or to the path of paganism?
That is, how much time do you got? That's a long one. Basically, we'll do the quick method. In high school, I came to Krishna consciousness, which is not often one that I hear. I wasn't raised religious, which a lot of people have, that I was raised Christian, but then paganism thing. I was raised like pseudo-Christian agnosticism. Like we celebrated Christmas and Easter, but it was more like don't set the tree on fire and look, there's chocolate. So that was pretty much the extent of that. And I also went to like Bible camp. That was weird. Never tell people at Bible camps that you are not Christian. Don't do it. Bad idea.
You'll give them a hobby for the rest of the week. Every time they see you, they'll be, dear God.
Yeah. Like 10-year-old me didn't think of that though. So, but anyway, so in high school, I came to Krishna consciousness actually literally through hair because they've got the Maha Mantra Hare Krishna in it. It kept getting stuck in my head and I couldn't stop singing it. So I looked it up and I was like, this thing's really cool. So I like started going into that. And then when I came to university, I moved to this city, which is only like an hour away from my hometown. But I moved here. And then there was like ISKCON, like International Society of Krishna Consciousness, monks just kind of going around. So I would like hang out with monks sometimes and chant and be like having the fun with the spirituality. And then I don't think she wants me to say her name, but I had a girlfriend at some point where she was solitary Wiccan. And she introduced me to Scott Cunningham's Wicca for the Solitary Practitioner. So I read that and I started practicing Krishna consciousness with an incredibly pagan flavor. I had an altar for Radha Krishna and his wife Radha. So I worked with that for like a good 5 months until my mentor / she's my friend now, but was kind of a mentor back then, invited me. I met her through like a queer group as well, like a queer theory collective. So she invited me to Samhain 2012 like just like the Samhain ritual that we were having. So I went to it, and the rest is history. I was literally went to Samhain and began planning Yule with them. Like that's it. Total 180. It's like, oh, hello, paganism. How are you?
Well, now the Hare Krishna, was it Hare Krishna or Krishna?
Well, it's Krishna consciousness, which is the Hare Krishna movement.
Okay, because here in the States, they've got an interesting reputation. For me, I know that if I see them in the airports, I'll say hi. If I donate, I donate. But I know if there's a Hare Krishna temple in my town, I am going to find out if they've got a restaurant.
Oh my gosh. Literally every time the monks are in town, they literally text me. So I'm like texting with monks. And they're like, hey, we're meeting up at the Hindu temple or here or there. And I'm like, I'm there because you have food. And also I like Krishna, but that food though.
Yeah, when I lived in, I think it was Lansing, Michigan, they had a temple that also had a restaurant. And some friends of mine said, do you want to go down to, the Hare Krishna restaurant? And I was like, I don't know, because I have this very one layer view of that group right now. And so they said, oh, shut up and come on. And proceeded, they just filled my plate with stuff that I didn't know what it was. I was in my early 20s. And I put that food in my mouth and seriously thought, give me some flowers and a robe. I will hit the airport.
That food is so amazing. And honestly, part of it is because it's prasadam, which means that it's been offered to Krishna before you eat it, which is kind of interesting. A lot of pagans believe that once a god has touched the food, you shouldn't eat it anymore. It doesn't have any like nutrients to it or things like that. But for me, it's like, I will not eat after the Morrigan, but I will always eat after Krishna.
Oh, God cooties. But when I do my circles, when I do Wiccan circles, I have, sorry, one of the cats has apparently been walking all over the computer. I will do a small, my religion, my faith, we do an offering plate that, a portion used, a portion returned, thus does the giver understand the given kind of thing. It's a real ritualistic phrasing. And you also do it with whatever the liquid is you're having. And then you take that and you take it outside. Now, if it's an alcohol, if it's wine, I pour it into the ground. But if it's apple juice or water or something like that, I'll pour it into a small bowl. And my belief is that whomever consumes it are emissaries of deity. Now, when I'm doing circle, my cat often thinks she's the emissary right then and there. We have to have discussions. No jumping the gun. She's like, I'm all over those cakes, man. Those are good. So what's your favorite form of divination? I think I know.
Oh, I don't know. Could it possibly be tarot? Hey, I'm in my living room, which is also my kitchen. Don't question it. But
do I see Michael Holland's or the psychic tarot?
Yes, John Holland.
John Holland. Yeah, I thought I recognized the box.
Yeah. There's only one that's not in this box right now, and that's my Greenwich Tarot, because it's in my backpack. Because I promised a coworker a reading because she did something very nice for me. So
very cool. And you offer readings on your Etsy shop, right?
I do. I've got like 4 spreads right now, but I'm working on a couple of others. I'm thinking of some stuff. We'll see.
Very cool. Now, you had mentioned that you might be giving a code out for folks who want to check your Etsy out.
Yes. Could it possibly be 25% off of any reading for anybody who watches this stream? Oh, the code is going to be, oh, I know. Come on now. The code is going to be Arwen25, all capitals with numbers, because you can't capitalize a number. Otherwise, it ends up being a symbol.
At percent.
Yeah, the at percent symbol. No, just 25 for 25% off any of my readings on my Etsy.
Yay! I'm saying hi to everybody in the chat room so they know that I'm actually kind of watching y'all, but y'all chat amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
I'm feeling a little overclipped. So, have you ever done a working that just completely backfired?
I actually was trying to think of this because I've seen you ask this to like literally everybody else. So I'm just like,
I know.
can I think of anything that like backfired? Like, not that like I can particularly think of, but that's because I don't often do spell work because I'm just like, I know that if I am not specific enough, the universe is like, nah, you're funny. Let's give you this instead. So, um, yeah, I'm trying to think of one that like backfired, but it didn't really so much backfire. Just kind of like I did money spells once, and then like a couple of months later, one of my relatives did die. But
That's kind of an
yeah,
eye opener when that happens, particularly if you actually got money from their death.
yeah. Well, it's like they were like already in the hospital, and we knew that it was coming. So, but
Yeah.
this was literally before I practiced paganism, though, because I did witchcraft before practicing paganism because I played with fairies as a kid. Like I've always believed in fairies and the fae. And then middle school and high school, I would do work with crystals and spells. I even did a seminar in one of my English classes on modern witchcraft.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but it was like I didn't really think of it as actually like doing witchcraft or like doing pagan things. I was just like, I'm doing a money spell. So,
Cool. Now, normally I ask green sauce, red sauce, but I'm going to ask you red dal, yellow dal, or red lentils or yellow lentils.
uh, uh, hmm, hmm. You're making this difficult. I'm just gonna say red lentils because I made a curry this morning that has red lentils in it, and I do red lentils or just like those canned lentils. I don't know what kind they are. I think they're green. I don't know. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
If I have a choice, I'm going to pick yellow first, but that's me. But I'm
yeah.
just talking
I
about
don't
just.
even know. I don't even eat like dollar lentils that much. Like I do like eat fair bit, but like I'm more of a bean person. I like beans.
Yeah, I love black eyed pea dal. So
Mm.
I've got a friend that cooked that for me and taught me how to cook it. Sorry, Sajida, I haven't actually made it since, but I'm going to come to Austin and you could just have a big batch for me frozen. That'd be okay. So, Miss Emily, is there an afterlife in your belief system?
That is one of the things that I'm just kind of like about because I kind of simultaneously believe in reincarnation and the land of the dead. Because at Samhain, I always do a trance to the land of the dead with my community, and we kind of literally like go underground, go to an island, and that's the island where the dead live. But it's kind of like you can it's in my belief system it's kind of like you can choose to stay in the land of the dead or you can choose to reincarnate. You don't have to reincarnate straight away,
Yeah.
and you don't ever have to reincarnate. And also you can come back as pretty much anything. It's just like, I don't know, I could be a chicken next time, I don't know, a tree, who
Yeah.
knows.
That's I actually I've never thought about coming back as a tree, but a different animal and insect forms, absolutely. A tree would be kind of fun though.
The tree thing I mainly think of because of who wrote Discworld. Is that Terry Pratchett?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I was reading Equal Rights, which is the first one in the Witches series, because I'm reading the Witches series part of Discworld because ain't nobody got time for all of Discworld right away. So I chose the Witches ones. And in Equal Rights, the wizard comes back as a tree at the very beginning. So I'm just like, yes,
Well,
coming back as a tree.
if you're reading those books, ook,
Yeah.
ook,
Okay.
just ook. You haven't met the librarian yet, have you?
No, I literally I've only read Equal Rights, and then I have Something Sisters, that like the literally the next book in order that has witches in it. I'm just reading all the witches ones. Yeah, I'm like such a slow reader. I'm reading Dracula right now, so
I I am one of those incredibly fast readers. I mean, did you read the Harry Potter books?
Yes.
The last one, Deathly Hallows?
Yeah.
I read it in 6 hours.
Wow. It took me 2 weeks of nonstop reading. And that's like every waking moment reading it. I'm just a very, very, very slow reader.
I'm super fast. My grandmother actually, there used to be, and I don't know if it's still around, but it was called the Evelyn Wood School of Speed Reading. And it was something that they would put in Reader's Digest. And my grandmother subscribed us to the Reader's Digest. So she calls and she says to my mom, I want you to give Stephanie, that's my given name, this page out of the Reader's Digest. So she did. Granny said, we called her Granny Lou. Granny Lou said, okay, when I say start, I want you to just read it silently. If you get to the end, it's okay to start over. I said, okay. And I was 11 or 12. I was pretty young. So I'm reading it, and in my head I'm thinking, is she ever going to tell me time? So finally she says time. She says, how many times you read it? I said 5.5. And she said, I'm sorry, what? and proceeded to kind of intimate that I might be lying. My grandmother and I had kind of a prickly relationship. And she said, you couldn't have read it that many times. Mary Lou, take that paper away from Stephanie. I handed it to her. And then she said, what did it say? And then I proceeded to read it back to her, almost verbatim. She forgot that my father had a photographic memory. Although I used to say it was photogenic because I thought it was kind of cute. But she said that I had just read off the chart and that there was no need to sign me up for this school. And my mother said, Mama, I could have told you that. We take her to the library on Saturday. She gets 6 books, and by Wednesday, she's looking for something else to read.
Yeah.
You know, I would check out as many books as they would let me. But yeah, reading is, and I have a really good recall because of Daddy's gift. But you put a book in front of me, and I will tune you out. That's my other gift. My ears turn inward, and I don't hear outside noises anymore, which drives my husband crazy.
No, yeah, university was so hard for me because I'm such a slow reader, and I was doing a double major in English Lit and Religious Studies. Do you know how many readings there are in English Lit and Religious Studies?
But good for you for challenging yourself, because that's difficult, and that's stepping up.
Mm-hmm. The thing that I found that helped the most for English is listening to the audiobook on 1.5 or 2 times speed and reading at the same time. So you get the listening, you get the visual, and you get like that feeling, like the both at the same time. So you read faster and it also sinks in more.
That's a very cool idea. I'm saying bye to Karina. She's not feeling good, so she's leaving.
Oh
no. I know, poor baby. So it's deserted island time. You can pull 5 items. What do you pick?
Deserted island, 5 items. Just witchy items or like things in general?
Magical items, tools.
Magical items. Let's say my wand. It's really cute. It's actually right here. I can't reach it. No, so far away. I'm not standing up for now. But it's like a little tiny crystal wand. It's like this big. It's so cute. My chalice, because I love a chalice. It's gorgeous. I have this goddess candle that was gifted to me from somebody in the community before he left the community. And it's like this, it looks like the goddess like holding, hands above the head, made of grass. And then like has like a little squirrel on her. And then like a ladybug, and just like looks like a little field, but it's the goddess holding like a tea light at the top.
Nice.
It's really cute, and I love that. And it also has sentimental value. How many is that? 3?
Yep.
3 items. Tarot deck. Come on now. It's got to happen. Great choice. And I would say, Athame, if I had one, I use like a mini katana.
So a mini katana, that could double as your machete?
Yeah, my tiny, it's like this big. It's like the saddest little katana. I'm just like, ee. Well, the blade's like that big. It's about that big.
I shall poke you again and again and again until you know you've been poked.
Yep. It's not that sharp, but I'm just kind of like, it's a knife. It could come in handy.
Okay. Now, what herbs are must-haves in your kitchen and your altar room? And then we will limit it to 3, but herbs that do double duty for you.
Herbs that do double duty. Let me think. I don't like. I've recently got into kind of kitchen witchery, and I've been doing the series of the witch's tea cupboard. So that's been like getting me to learn more about herbs, and that's awesome. But one is basil or oregano, either or. They're green. They're good for money spells, and they're delicious in Italian cooking. Ginger, big major one. Ginger. Because, well, one, it's freaking delicious. It's very important for Asian cooking in general, and I love Japanese cooking, Indian, all that. So, ginger. And it also is great for lighting a fire under your ass. Like, for those kind of spells, when you need it, just get things done.
Mm-hmm.
And then garlic, because one, garlic is delicious, and if you say it is not, then you need to leave.
We can't be friends, sorry.
I love garlic so much. And it's so good in banishing spells. Man, garlic is intense in spell work.
Very cool. And if you do relocate for any reason and you need somebody to give that KitchenAid a home,
well, you gotta come get it from Canada.
just say it. I'll be in Seattle.
And maybe fight my mother to death because my mom wants it.
As a mom, I'm going to say let your mom have it because
she got it for me for Christmas, and then she got herself like a $20 mixer. Now she's like, I should have gotten myself a KitchenAid too.
Yeah, because they're amazing beasts. I actually have a professional model that we got at an auction, so we got it really cheap. Powdered or rolled incense, that is.
Is rolled incense like the kind on a stick?
Yeah, or a cone, stick or cone.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of it termed as rolled. I've always heard it as dipped incense. Like off the stick, you dip it. That's always what I've called it. And I use dipped because I can't pay attention enough to keep charcoal going in any way. And just, I always forget that things are there too. I'm very forgetful. Especially in circle, because then I'm just like honed in on what I'm doing, so I can't like double task and be like, okay, more incense or charcoal. So
Yeah,
just lighting some incense, like it might burn out all the way, or like if it doesn't burn all the way, I could just leave it burning to finish. So
perfect.
yeah.
How do you intentionally honor or care for deity in your world, if that's something you can talk about?
It's kind of I can't talk about the OBOD stuff because that's I literally paid for that course, and you can't like learn it unless you are part of the course. So anyway, can't talk about that. But in my like normal day-to-day life, it's not necessarily like caring for deity, because it's more like we have a working relationship. But also sometimes I just like leave them something nice just because I can, not because I want something. So it's kind of like finding that balance between bribery and just being nice. Because every time you leave an offering, it can't be just for bribery, because then it just kind of gets old. So I'll leave a offering when I'm just doing meditation with them, not saying I want to get something from you, just like I'm here to hang out, I'm going to chat at you, and you can have this blank, whatever it is
Yeah.
that I'm offering. So yeah.
Very good. Now, what do you do for self-care? What makes Emily a happy girl?
Self-care is actually huge for me because I actually work in mental health. I do mostly suicide intervention. So self-care is a huge, huge, huge thing for me. Because otherwise I would go insane. Like I would just lose it because my job's so emotionally taxing. So tea is number one. This is actually cold tea, but hey, well, iced tea, specifically made to be cold, not gross cold tea, but
I can't tell you how many times I've reached to pick up a cup when I've been writing and go, no.
yeah, specifically made stronger so it tastes good when cold. Baths, because if you ever see anything on my main channel, which I think you are subscribed to my main channel, so many Lush reviews, so many Lush hauls, because baths though. Baths.
Yeah, I love getting in water, but I really prefer showers. So I'm actually looking for on Etsy mostly an Etsy person that makes shower steamers. So
Mm.
if you're out there, message me. I will go look at your shop. I'm dying to get some bath steamers that are for relaxation. You know, most of them are for like colds or eucalyptus or tea tree based, which is fine. But I'm looking for something that's going to make my whole shower stink up so pretty. So
Love it.
now, name something that always brings you joy.
Musicals and soundtracks from show tunes.
And we talked about that. So
That's pretty much what brings me joy. And I like cooking. Cooking brings me joy. It's very satisfying to chop vegetables. Get the anger out on that carrot. Ugh.
I tell people that one of my negativity releasing spells is dishwashing. I bless the hot water and soap, and then I focus on the gunk on whatever it is, and I focus all of my gunk is going into that gunk. Wash it, drain it, go.
Maybe that would make me actually do the dishes.
It actually works for me. That's one of the ways I do it. Y'all, it looks like the chat has stopped or people aren't talking. Can somebody say hi in chat so I know it hasn't stopped? Now, speaking of food, what's your favorite meal?
My favorite meal. Oh, that's actually very hard for me. Ah, I'd say I always enjoy sushi. I love going out for sushi. Although sometimes it's hard to find a sushi place that I can actually eat at, but hey, whatever, it happens. So I love me some just give me some rice, some seaweed, some vegetables, some soy sauce, some wasabi, some ginger. I'm happy. Give it to me.
That sounds like me. I tell my husband is not a sushi fan, particularly when I phrase it as, would you like to go eat some recently dead fish?
Well, I don't even eat fish myself. I actually just go for the vegetarian or vegan options because I eat plant-based. So yeah. And also I'm allergic to dairy, which is a major reason why I'm vegan, is because I'm allergic to dairy and I was vegetarian before I went. So before I found out I was allergic. So
Oh man. Gentry, you can message me here on YouTube. Just go to my homepage and click message. And you're on the about page maybe, but you can send me a message that way. And thank you, baby. I appreciate it. Somebody responded to my shower steamer and said they had a recipe.
You might have to share it with me.
Right. But I can just about eat my weight in sushi, and I'm not a little girl. But when I go here and go home to Austin, go back to Austin where I lived for many years, I plan my leaving time from where I am in New Mexico, because I'm an hour behind, so that I will end up in South Austin at a restaurant called Haiku for happy hour. And I walk in, I sit down, and I'm like, I want a spicy tuna, a spicy salmon, and I usually get 2 pieces of yellowtail. I mean, I have this set order in my head. If I lived there still, I think that by now they would be going, oh, here comes a spicy too, or whatever. Now let's see. We're almost at the end, and I can't believe it's at the end already. It feels like we've had such a good chat, so we may have to chat again. What's your favorite ghost story? And if it's one that you've had experience or,
Favorite ghost story. Fun fact, I used to live in what this city has dubbed the haunted house. It is the second oldest building in the entire city, and it is the first oldest residential building in the entire city.
Wow.
It was home to Lady Boyce. This area has what's called the Boyce Farmers Market, literally named after that very rich family. I essentially lived in the top, like the top of the home, which was considered where lady boys lived. And yeah, she was there. If you are a young man around his early 20s, she will tuck you into bed at night.
Oh.
If you leave the oven on, she will turn it off. If you leave the kitchen window open at night, she will shut it in the middle of the night. And if you leave the bathroom light on at night, she will shut it off. She's a total mom.
Well, she sounds kind of wonderful. I've lived with carrying ghosts before, and so they're kind of, people always think, well, aren't all ghosts like mischievous or mean or scary? No, some of them just want to go by and pat you on the head and keep going.
No, yeah, she was like a total mom. And you could also, like, I was on the top floor and you could hear footsteps. You can't hear footsteps from the floor under you. Like, she's just walking around. Oh, that house had a really amazing clawfoot tub, too. It was amazing.
I lived in a house in Lansing, Michigan that had a clawfoot tub, and I worked as a dog groomer. So in the summer, I would come in, I would have groomed 6 to 8, 9, 10 dogs, depending on my schedule. And I would be hot, cranky, and tired. And my partner, if she was home, she knew just to watch me go, and I'd go straight upstairs, and I would run cold water. I didn't put hot water in at all.
Yeah.
Cold, and then just submerge myself, and get that, all the hair and all the gunk off me. I love dog grooming, but it's a hairy job.
Little bit.
Yeah.
That tub was amazing. My boobs and my knees were underwater at all times. It was a miracle. Right? Especially since I'm just like a giant. I'm like 6'1", so it's just like.
No, really?
I am. I'm really tall. I'm 6'1", and it's just like any tub except my mom's tub. She just got a spa tub. My boobs could be under the water with my knees too, and I'm just like.
So now, I need to do it like this, so we're a little more. This is what you're used to seeing, right?
I suppose so. And maybe this is what you're used to seeing, like this.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry, y'all. I dropped the chat phone. Oh, Briar Lynn, are you in the Lansing area? Girl, I love Lansing. But I went to school with a girl who hit her full height in 6th grade, and she had brothers who were 6'5", and she was considered the short one because she was only 6'3".
Yeah.
And in 6th grade, poor kid, I got boobs in 6th grade, so people ignored her and they're like staring at my chest. And I'm like, but she's so pretty. But I mean, she was like head and shoulders above everybody.
Yeah, I was like 5'4" in grade 5. That's when I hit it. I remember that because I started grade 5 at 5'2". My teacher was 5'3". We measured ourselves at the beginning of the year and at the end. That was like a little thing she did. And she was like, yeah, you're taller than me now.
Yeah, and it's painful. The girl I'm talking about, she, over the summer, she was bedridden for quite a bit of it because she had a lot of really painful growth spurts.
Leg pain for days.
Yeah. And her brothers, actually, that was one of the only times they were nice to her, she said, when she was, when they were younger, because they remembered.
Yeah.
And so they were kind to her. Now, here's the very last question. What is your best advice for someone just starting out on their own path?
I don't know if this has been said before, but read everything. Everything. Read it all. Literally, the biggest help for me was I was in religious studies, so I read from every path that I could find. Everything. Read everything. And then judge everything harshly. Because don't just read everything and say, yep, that's it. Because trust me, people who write have biases. So read everything and then go,
I call that the salt cellar method. And if you don't know what a salt cellar is, y'all look them up. People used to actually carry their own around with them because salt was a very high-priced commodity for a long time. So, and I say it's a salt cellar. Get your pinch of salt out, because man, even when I say something, I don't want you to buy it because I say it. I've got a good personality. I'm very verbal. I can talk to people. I have a sales background, so I can sell you on shit. I know how to do, that persuasive speech kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
But I want people to examine, rethink, question. I pulled a nasty joke on my students once. I announced we were doing one of our Shabbats and we had an Esbit coming up, and I said at the next Esbit, we're going to begin to learn about animal sacrifice. And they all three went, okay, what time? And one of them came to me and said, what kind of animal? Because I might have an issue with that. And I said, really good question. Not doing any animal sacrifice, but you're the only person who questioned it. Never believe something just because your teacher says so.
Yep. We actually have an ongoing sacrifice joke at Samhain, because that's often a more open celebration in our community. Like, we just have an ongoing joke, just like, that's the sacrifice.
Yeah, our joke was always when new people came in, we'd be like, how old are you? Damn it is so hard to find a virgin.
Yeah.
So, but Emily, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate this. Folks, I hope you go subscribe to Hawthorne Mystics if you're not already subscribed. It's a great channel. I really enjoy it. I forget to say tippy hi. And that's a big thing with those of us on YouTube. We really like comments, because that's how we know somebody was actually there. I mean, you can go by and just thumbs up it, but leave us a comment.
Do it.
Do it. So, Emily, when I say goodbye, I always say seek joy, y'all. How do you sign off?
Well, merry part, blessed be, and bye-bye.
She covers all bases, y'all. Seek joy, y'all. Bye-bye.